Welcome to one and all. Check one, check one. Siblings, check two, siblings.
So again, welcome, family, friends, precious.
You celebrate with us, and you support our decision. You're welcome to this decision in yourself.
BlattCo, and to a lesser extent, the Psychic Garden and myself, thank you for your presence here today. And now ask for your blessing, encouragement, and lifelong support. We come together not to mark the start of a something special, but to acknowledge and strengthen an understanding that may not already exist. In simpler terms, we're here to learn together, to grow. This ceremony is a public affirmation of truth, and it is your honor as well as my own honor and privilege to stand witness to this event. So again, welcome, family, friends, precious business associates, and loved ones. We're gathered here today surrounded by the beauty of the pursuit of something special and nurtured by many sights, sounds, smells, and ideas. On behalf of BlattCo International Incorporated, with extremely minor participation and cooperation by the Psychic Garden, thank you for joining us. By your presence here today, you celebrate with us and you support our decision. You have welcomed this decision into yourself and have made it part of yourself. Before I begin, I'd like to provide the opportunity for every single one of you, after you leave this place today, to explore exclusive, sponsored, event-related content at www.blattco.net, or participate with us socially on Facebook and Twitter, or if after this event you have any further questions, don't hesitate to call BlattCo at 585-653-8880. That's 585-653-8880. Operators are standing by 24 hours a day. Hold on, I got a couple more cards. It is impossible to imagine that human nature, the human intellect, emotions, and feelings are completely independent of our habits. In particular, our love of amassing beauty, collecting sentimental items, and treasured keepsakes. Humans are a bit like the common magpie, a bird that has a reputation for collecting jewelry and other bright objects. We do not simply exist as essentially ahistoric beings with one constant human nature that has remained the same throughout history or even prehistory. Sometimes evolutionary psychologists, those who harbor the belief that human nature was fixed on the Pleistocene savanna, talk in the inverse in this way. I think this is demonstrably wrong, and I've got the orange tinted text to back this up. Let's get a little warm in here. Hold on. Wall clocks with motorized moving tails and eyes, as opposed to manhole covers. If humans share the same psychological drive to collect as the magpie, why don't we just collect shiny, discarded foil gum wrappers? It is possible that the forces which drive us to collect differ from that of a small-brained bird, right? What about a cat and its collection of mouse entrails? This doesn't serve the biological function of providing sustenance to the animal, so why does the collection end up on the front stoop? Why are some cats orange? And what is Garfield? Well, to answer that final query is simple. The former, not so much. But we'll get to that shortly. Being that when discussing the concept of Garfield in a what is Garfield sense, we're dealing in facts and truths. I would like to start there. Now, before we get started, for legal reasons, I need to mention that BlattCo International Incorporated, the Psychic Garden, and this presentation are not associated with Paws Incorporated, the creators of Garfield. In any way, Garfield is a registered trademark of Paws Incorporated. As a fellow businessman, I wish to respect the sanctity of all Paws trademarks. Garfield is a comic created by Jim Davis. Published since 1978, it chronicles the life of the title character, Garfield. Garfield. Just want to be able to get a little closer to you guys. Not that much closer, but a little. chronicles the life of the title character Garfield, the cat John Arbuckle, the human, and Odie the dog. As of 2013, it was syndicated in roughly 2,580 newspapers and journals and held the Guinness World Record for being the world's most widely syndicated comic strip. Who holds the record for the most expensive collection of Garfield collectibles? The largest collection of Garfield memorabilia includes 6,190 unique items that belongs to Kathy Kothi. The achievement was verified in Huntington Station, New York, USA on April 10, 2014. We can assume that the Garfield comic strip was still syndicated in at least 2,580 newspapers at that time, right? Right? Yeah. When duplicates are included, Kathy's collection exceeds 11,000 items. As listed by Kathy's official cataloger, her husband Robert. The collection includes 3 slot machines, 1 pachinko machine, and a one-of-a-kind statue known as Garf Rogers, right? And a 25-foot tall inflatable that is taller than Kathy and Robert's house. While Kathy and Robert live in New York, though this is rarely mentioned in print, Garfield is set in, anyone? Muncie, Indiana, the home of Jim Davis. According to the television special, Happy Birthday Garfield. Common themes in the strip include Garfield's laziness, obsessive eating, coffee, and disdain of Mondays and diets. The strip's focus is mostly on the interactions among Garfield, John, and Odie, but other recurring minor characters appear as well. Originally created with the intention to come up with a good marketable character, Garfield has spawned merchandise earning $750 million to $1 billion annually. Much of this merchandise is highly collectible. In addition to the various merchandise and commercial tie-ins, the strip has spawned several animated television specials, 2 animated television series, 2 theatrical feature-length live-action / CGI animated films, and 3 fully CGI animated direct-to-video movies. While so many products and so much content orbiting the Garfield universe, not to mention all these dollar signs, it is no surprise that some people collect for investment. Yet one must wonder how a limited edition Odie plush can become worth thousands of dollars. Beyond the financials, some collect for pure enjoyment. It's fun. Despite his morose demeanor, Garfield is fun, and the Garfield strip can be considered by some as funny. Some collect to expand their social lives, attending swap meets and exchanging information with like-minded souls. Garfield collectors in the United States have a semi-annual meetup called Garfest, which functions partly as the aforementioned swap meet as well as an opportunity to find camaraderie with like-minded individuals of orange fur, lasagna, paired with a healthy disdain for Mondays. And still other folks collect to preserve the past. But there can be risk here, similar to how medieval scientists and anthropologists have collected human remains for the purpose of study, only to be taken to court if crude original sketches of Garfield were found in the margins of Jim Davis's old high school notebook, or scarier still, please don't leave, paired with a yearbook signature. Collectors may legally fight to own the sketches, whereas Davis may legally fight to bury them. For some people, collecting is simply the quest. In case of a lifelong pursuit, it's never complete. World record-holding collector Kathy Kothi owns over 11,000 Garfield items already, and I'm sure if you asked her, she would have 11,000 more items on her short list of collectibles still to obtain. Additional collector motivations include psychological security, filling a void in a sense of self, or it could be claim a means to distinction, much as a uniform makes the man. Or in the case of Kathy, a collection makes her a world record holder. Collections could be a means to immortality or fame, vis-a-vis John Arbuckle and his collection of sadness. For some, the satisfaction comes from experimenting with arranging, rearranging, and classifying parts of a big world out there, which can serve as a means to control and elicit a comfort zone in one's life. For example, calming fears, erasing insecurity. In many ways, the Garfield collector is identified with Jim Davis' ever-expanding worldview as both an author/artist and simply as a human existing in reality. Collectors may find that they experience reality in a similar fashion to Davis' comedic observations and thus have internalized his attempts at understanding the universe as penned in 3 panels on an ongoing daily basis. Perhaps the collector honestly can't get out of bed on Monday mornings, or simply the collector may have an orange striped and lazy cat themselves. The motives are not mutually exclusive, as certainly many motives can combine to create a collector. One does not easily eat just because of hunger. The Garfield collector can consume a countless number of lasagnas without the biological need for nutrition. Sigmund Freud didn't see collecting as stemming from these kinds of motivations. Freud also died long before Garfield's first published comic strip. He postulated that collecting ties back to the time of toilet training. Freud suggests that the loss of control and what went down the toilet was a traumatic occurrence, and that therefore the collector is trying to get back not only control, but possessions that were lost so many years ago. It may be true that some collectors are nostalgia junkies who get their fix from amassing objects popular during their youth. The reality is that Garfield has not been popular with children for some time now, and most, if not all, current serious Garfield collectors are adults. The rest of the world may see their collections as nothing more than kid stuff, or at worst, toilet fodder. But really, pet owners collect feces from their cat's litter box daily, and while Garfield has probably never shown defecating in any of his published strips, it is well within the realm of human nature to pick up stool. While Freud may clearly have overstated the issue, his explanation serves as a nice segue into the next portion of our presentation. What if you wish to part ways with your collection of Garfield collectibles? What if you wish to finally flush away and unburden yourself of a potentially valuable tray of cartoon lasagna? At BlattCo, we often get many emails and telephone calls asking us, what is the best way to sell a Garfield collection? This is the true nature and purpose of this talk. Some of the people who ask us are actually the collectors themselves, but beyond the collectors, some inherited the collection from a loved one, some are vengeful spouses, while other people are just helping out a friend or family member. Due to this huge disparity in Garfield knowledge, I will start with a few of the basics. First, how do you know if a particular item is valuable or not? Aside from a few consistently high-ticket collectibles, it is our experience that Garfield collectors will usually go after what makes them smile and what they are interested in. Some items may sell for much more than expected because someone really wanted it, or even better, multiple collectors have engaged in a bidding war. Other items might not sell for much at all, even if it's an original mint condition 1978 Garfield plush still with its original tags. We find that Garfield collectors sometimes have themes. For example, I tend to purchase beach-themed and boating-themed items for the future when I finally purchase a second home in Florida. As a collector, it is important for me to have thematically appropriate accoutrements, adorning every space that I own or frequently inhabit. Another example is my office, where I proudly display all of my Anti-Monday Garfield collectibles. Many other collectors operate similarly. They have their own niche and are not interested in every single tchotchke with a smug orange-faced cat. One collector may prefer cowboy-themed Garfield items. Another will gravitate towards specific objects like clocks and mugs.